Good evening, and welcome to another airing of Premier Sports Talk. I'm your host, Randy Prentice. Uh, I just want to start out by saying thank you, thank you, thank you. I started this channel on July the 4th. Um, I woke up this morning, checked my emails, and saw that I had a notification that I had over 150,000 views on the channel, 150,000 since July the 4th. Pretty amazing. Never saw that coming. Um, to date, I have 160 subscribers. I had a pretty aggressive goal of trying to reach 1,000 subscribers uh, within 60 days. I'm gonna be more realistic. I'm gonna shoot. So any at a later date, or if you come in now, while viewing, I ask that you hit the like button, leave a comment, share the channel with somebody, uh, because the more activity there is, with me being a small channel, the YouTube algorithm, initially they don't push out small channels. So the more activity I can get with more people that hit the like button, more people that subscribe, more people to leave a comment in there, it'll help with the channel growth. But I'm just very grateful and thankful that I got over 150,000 views just on the short video post that I post. And it's a blessing to have 160 subscribers. And I'm just going to keep pressing onward and keep moving on. I noticed that I've been doing a lot of, since I've been following the Sanders family, I've been doing a lot of Shedeur Sanders talk. He's the hottest thing going in the NFL now with him being up there in the Cleveland Browns. But I'm going to try to tamper that down today, give you information on what just occurred over the weekend, talk about any current pending trades that's being spoke on in the NFL, and discuss any current contracts. So again, I want to tell you thank you. Please hit that like button. No matter when you tap in and watch it, hit the like, leave a comment, share with somebody, hit that subscribe to help the channel grow. It'll be greatly appreciated. So as far as the NFL contracts are concerned, there's only one NFL preseason game left. Next weekend left. The Dallas Cowboys, things don't seem to be going any better with the Dallas Cowboys and with the owner, Jerry Jones and Michael Parsons. If anybody's been tapping and listening what's going on there with the Dallas Cowboys, Michael Parsons is not happy at all. He is not happy at all. He has requested a trade. You know, Jerry Jones typically does things at the last minute. You know, they didn't sign Dak Prescott last year until the Friday before the season opener. So hopefully, with an extension contract, Michael Parsons will forgive and forget and still be a Dallas Cowboy. But he's already put out there in the atmosphere. He is so ready to just put the Cowboys behind him and go to another team. So, but we'll see how that goes. You know, I'm thinking maybe the Buffalo Bills, since they're, you know, they could definitely use them. That would be a good trade option for them. I did see on Twitter or on Instagram where Michael Parsons has said that he would be down with coming to Pittsburgh. As you see, I got all my Pittsburgh Steelers stuff behind me. I'm born and raised from Pittsburgh, like I've always stated. But I just don't think we had the money to get Michael Parsons. You know, we got Cam Hayward, who is 7 years old, and he is asking for an extension contract also. He's trying to get that one last contract. He's been a pillar for our team, and we'll see where that goes. I haven't heard anything as far as him talking about holding out. Some real hot news for the Cincinnati Bengals. Their defensive lineman, Trey Hendricks, who had the most career NFL sacks last year. He's still on the contract, but with all the with TJ Watt's major deal, he wants to get a contract extension with more money, and rightfully so. You know, he's 30 years old, and people are typically not wanting to do a large amount of money as far as a contract extension goes. So he's out on the trade block right now. It's all over the social media and sports network channels. He's asking for a trade, and they're trying to shop him around. I know even the Cleveland Browns, Andrew Berry made a call to the Cincinnati Bengals, but typically teams don't trade their star players within their conference. But I really don't see that happening. But I'll keep tabs and see where it's going and promote it to you all as soon as I find out. As far as things that was going on, as far as contracts go, Keyshawn Jenkins, running back for the Cleveland Browns, he was being held up on legal issues. Those charges have been dropped. He still has not been inside the Cleveland Browns training camp. As of this very hour, we still have to see if the NFL is going to suspend him for any games, but the district attorney down in Florida said there wasn't anything that they could find that they could charge him on. That's why his charges was dropped. Some really hot news. Isaiah Bond, he played for the University of Texas. He didn't get drafted in this year's draft because he also had a sexual assault charge against him. His charges also got dropped, but he flew into Cleveland on Sunday, and it's been all over social media earlier this afternoon. Isaiah Bond, he got signed as an undrafted free agent. He got signed to a 3-year, $3 million contract, all guaranteed. So that's the two latest updates on as far as contracts to go. Preseason games. The Buffalo Bills are playing tonight at 8:00. That's the only time. Monday we got some Monday night football tonight. And if anybody's interested in tapping in to watch the Cincinnati Bengals and the Washington Commanders, I've been on the road a lot today. I'm not sure if the starting quarterbacks are playing for the Washington Commanders or Josh. I'm not sure if the two starting quarterbacks are playing this game. If they are, it'll be more interesting. At least watch it for the first quarter and see how that goes. To give a recap, as far as the games that happened over the weekend, the Atlanta Falcons, they played a pretty good game. I was tuned off and on in that particular game. They played the Tennessee Titans. Cam Ward did play in that game. He didn't do so well. He did a couple interviews. He stated he's learning. He's going to grow, learn from the mistakes he's made. And I just like how, it's funny how, depending on where you're drafted in the NFL draft, as far as a quarterback is concerned, as far as how they will play that quarterback. If you get drafted in first and second round, you truly have a real opportunity with an NFL team to possibly start for that team. But if you're drafted third round or lower, they consider that draft pick to be a developmental pick. I'm not going to discuss Shedeur Sanders and real in-depth information today. I want to touch on some other key things, and I'm going to try to hold true to that. Seattle Seahawks, they played the Kansas City Chiefs. The Seattle Seahawks, They beat the Kansas City Chiefs 33-16. Patrick Mahomes did play a series or two in that, and then that was it. The San Diego Chargers played the Los Angeles Rams. San Diego Chargers ended up beating the Los Angeles Rams 22-23. The Rams starting quarterback has been dealing with some problems in his back. He did not play that game. A matter of fact, he just returned to the Rams practice this today. I did catch that. The quarterback for the Rams, this is his first practice at all, and the major concern is how's he going to hold up, because when he gets to the season or he got hurt, if he hurts that back, I think they're going to be after this particular weekend, I think they're going to be making a move to try to get a veteran quarterback to come in there in the event that their quarterback gets injured. The Jets played the New York Giants. That was a very good game. Fields did play in that game. Russell Wilson did play in that game. Jackson Dart did play in that game. Justin Field, in my opinion, he played horrible. Ladies and gentlemen, he played horrible. I'm going to call a spade. Tell it how I see it. He played horrible. That first preseason game, he looked really good, but this past weekend, he just didn't do that well. Russell Wilson came in. He looked decent. They brought Jackson Dart in. He played very well. A lot of people, was trying to compare between him and Shedeur Sanders. But Jackson Dart, he looked really good. It looks like, somewhere throughout this year, he's going to take over for Russell Wilson and be the starting quarterback for the New York Giants. So congratulations to the Giants winning that game. They beat the Jets 31-12. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers, they came to Pittsburgh. They played my Pittsburgh Steelers. As far as Shiloh Sanders, reason why I tuned into that game is, like I said, I've been following the Sanders family since they were at Jackson State. And the previous week, preseason week 1, Shiloh Sanders made some key plays. Looked very good. Fearful for him making the team. I'm even fearful for him making the practice squad. I was saying he would at least make the practice squad. But like I said, I got to call a spade a spade. He missed some tackles. He just didn't look good. He didn't have a good showing. The coach came out for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They did the post-game interview with him, and they said he did say that Shiloh did have a chance to still make the team, but he's going to have to show it this upcoming weekend. They got a safety that went out with a knee injury. He may be lost for the year. But I'm really hoping that I'm really hoping that Shiloh really balls out this upcoming weekend. I want to see him make the Tampa Bay Buccaneer team. Whether if it's on the 53-man roster, whether it's on the practice squad, I would just like him to still be able to pursue his NFL career. The Denver Broncos played the Cardinals, the Arizona Cardinals. Broncos tore them up. Can't give you any information on that game. I just know the score was 27-7. I had to rush back here to get to my laptop. I didn't want to be outside today to air this particular airing. So the good news is, for all you Bronco fans, Denver Broncos beat the Arizona Cardinals 27-7. Jacksonville Jaguars. Travis Hunter did not play in that game. He's trying to play both ways, offense and defense. They said he got an upper body injury. They didn't give any details. But with him trying to play both ways in the NFL, I would like him to see him still play both ways. He played for the University of Colorado last year, won the Heisman Trophy, was able to play both ways, but this is the big boy league, the NFL. I would really like him to focus on playing wide receiver for the Jacksonville Jaguars, and then they bring him in on defense, just on spotted packages where he's not playing a lot of reps on both sides. Because in order for him to be successful, that's a lot of wear and tear in your body to try to play offense and defense, not only just in the game, but also in the preparation. So, I hope Travis heals up quick so he's able to play in this last preseason game. This upcoming week, with this last preseason game, teams typically use it as a dress rehearsal mock-up for the first game of the season. The Buffalo Bills, they played the Chicago Bears. Caleb Williams, previous year, number 1 overall draft pick. He had a rough year last year. They brought in Ben Johnson from the Detroit Lions. He's taken over as the head coach for the team. He's also, they say he's an offensive guru. They held Caleb Williams out of first preseason game. This week he played. He balled out. He looked really, really good. So all the people that was harping on why didn't Caleb play last week, he came out this past weekend, balled out, looked real good. I think we continue to trend to do good things, so the Chicago Bears can be at least decent this particular year. Miami Dolphins played the Miami Dolphins played the Detroit Lions. They beat the Detroit Lions 24-17. Good job, Miami Dolphins. The Green Bay Packers. They played the Indianapolis Colts. Daniel Jones ended up starting that game. And then Richardson, who was the starting quarterback last year for the Colts. Last week, he got knocked out the game with a blindsided hit with a dislocated finger. This week, he was able to come in. He actually looked better than Daniel Jones. So they're up in the air whether they're going to let Daniel Jones start or let Richardson start. My opinion on it is if they let Richardson start and he fails, that's it. He's going to end up not being able to really be the franchise quarterback for the Indianapolis Colts. But if they let Daniel Jones start, Richardson learns some more from a more experienced quarterback. If Daniel Jones failed, then that would give Richardson a better opportunity to come back in as a starting quarterback and hopefully grab it by the reins and be the franchise quarterback for the Colts. The owners there's new owners for the Colts because the previous owner died and his daughters took it over, and there's some talks that they want to pull another quarterback before the season starts. I won't say who, but with that smile on my face, you know whose name I want to say. The Patriots, the New England Patriots, they played the Minnesota Vikings. The Patriots beat the Vikings 20-12. The Texans played the Carolina Panthers. The Texans beat up on the Panthers. They beat them 20-3. I'm trying to get into these other games here. 49ers played the Las Vegas Raiders. 49ers beat them 22-19. The Cowboys played the Baltimore Ravens. Let me say that again. The Cowboys attempted to play the Baltimore Ravens, and the Baltimore Ravens beat up on them Cowboys. Feeling kind of good about that. Yeah, it's only a preseason game, but with me being a Pittsburgh Steelers fan, I like seeing the Cowboys lose, even if it's in the preseason. It is what it is. Who we got? Last but not least, Cleveland Browns. The Cleveland Browns played last year's Super Bowl champions, the Philadelphia Eagles. Jalen Hurts did not play. Joe Flacco did not play. He was the only healthy quarterback for the Browns. Kenny Pickett still hasn't been in any preseason games due to an injury. Shedeur Sanders had an oblique strain. They kept him out the game. So Dylan Gabriel, who didn't play the first week preseason game because of a hamstring strain, he was able to play this particular game out of the University of Oregon, their third-round pick. He looked pretty good. I'll put it this way, he looked good when he played within the structure of the strict calls that was given to him by Coach Kevin Stefanski. Kevin Stefanski took back over the offensive play calling, so he's the head coach and he's the offensive play caller for the Cleveland Browns. First two drives, Dylan Gabriel looked good. He looked just as good as Shedeur. Only thing is, I call him Little Mighty Mouse. Dylan Gabriel's game got to be rolling out to the left, rolling out to the right, and throwing outs. Anytime he's trying to throw in the middle of the field, 10 to 20 yards down the field, he has to have a lane to be able to see the clear path of the receiver. Otherwise, in training camp, what was happening in training camp, him getting the balls knocked down, him throwing interceptions, he didn't get any balls knocked down in this past weekend games. He did fumble the ball in a hand snap. And then there was one throw where he did throw an interception, but he should have been smarter and threw the ball away because the wide receiver, when he was running the route, he got the defender knocked one of the wide receivers. It was the old wide receiver who used to play for the Pittsburgh Steelers previously, Deontay Johnson. He got pushed back towards the other wide receiver. And then the DB that was watching Deontay Johnson ran in between the two receivers, stole the ball, pick six. Outside of Dylan Gabriel doing that, he played a decent game. They let Shedeur play when he played last week for 3 quarters. Then they took him out. It seemed like when Dylan Gabriel threw that interception, he got rattled. He was throwing balls in the dirt. He looked nervous. So the head coach, Kevin Stefanski, didn't bring Dylan Gabriel out for that third quarter. There's talk up in Cleveland that, Dylan Gabriel was Kevin Stefanski's pick. He's protecting him. And you saw a difference in the play calling. When Dylan Gabriel played this past weekend, there was a lot of dink and dunk passes. A lot of the passes was under 10 yards. He had 2 passes that was between 10 to 20-yard intermediate. Those were really good. He threw 2 darts. Looked very impressive. But like I said, I think the coach picked up that he was rattled and he was losing his composure and they didn't bring him back out. So that's that. I just on Shedeur, there's one thing I want to give you all, is that with this being the last preseason weekend, games are being played. Some of the teams, NFL teams, are already cutting down on their roster. They have to go from a 90-man roster down to a 53-man roster down by next Tuesday at 4 p.m. Every NFL team has to have their 53-man roster by next Tuesday, August the 26th at 4 p.m. At that time, those that are not with the team, they either make the practice squad or they get released. Just because they go to a team's practice squad, any of the 32 NFL teams are able to contact that player directly, ask them if they would like to come to their team to be on their 53-man roster or possibly their practice squad. If that occurs and they accept it, they had the opportunity to get a new contract and either match the money they were making with the team that they were, or get more money. So we'll see how it goes. You know, there's some talk where since Kenny Pickett didn't make any, wasn't able to get in any of the preseason games up there with the Browns, that with his hamstring, they could possibly put him on the medical injury list, and they could hold him for 4 weeks before they would have to let him go to buy them some time, or they could be just let him go and let another team pick him up. So we'll see what happens there. There's even some talk that there's some NFL teams behind the scenes possibly wanting to get Shedeur Sanders because of the showing that he did. You know, there's no doubt that Shedeur can play in the NFL, you know. So I just hope that, you know, he gets done right. And the NFL and the powers that be on the NFL Management Council let go of that noose that's around him. Let go of that discourse that they have for his father, Deion Sanders. You know, they've already proven their point, but don't punish his son. Just be a blessing. Just let the young man have a successful NFL career if that's how it turns out to be. Again, I'm Randy Prentice, host of Premier Sports Talk. I want to thank anyone that comes back in and views my airings, who checks out my short feeds. Again, over 150,000 short views. All I can do is say wow to that. Thank you to my 160 subscribers. But I really need your help to let this. I'm right now. I'm in the basement. You know, I'm just a new YouTube channel, and I need for the likes to be hit. I need for comments to be put in there. You know, who your NFL team is, how you feel about your team, what you like or what you don't like, what you like, what's going on in the NFL or any sports topic. Because the more activity on the page, the more opportunity it allows for the channel to grow. I want to thank you for blessing me. Again, like I always close, God loves you. He blesses us each and every day with the breath of life. But somewhere along your steps in the course of a day, be a blessing to someone else. God is good all the time. Y'all take care. God is good all the time.